Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video where we're going to be talking about my pool plans for the month of February for the 5-year anniversary. We're going to be taking a look at the characters that was announced during the community live stream, which we will be using the slides from that stream in this video, and we'll also be using the Cydia Compendium so that I can briefly go over what the character does or what the characters are reworks or brand new weapons or whatever it is that I feel like should be necessary to talk about while I am letting you guys know which characters I am going to be pulling for and or passing up on. So do let me know down in the comment section below what your plans are going to be for the month of February. Let me know which characters you are going to be passing up on, which ones are you pulling for, whatever it is. Feel free to comment down in the comment section below. And of course, if you guys do enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And a big thank you once again to all of my YouTube members for the continuous support. So we are going to start off with Penelo, which is going to be our global first character who is going to be getting her BT and her FR weapon. Now, I've already made a video talking about her, going over the pros and cons about her, why I feel like she is going to be a very strong support character, even leading into the FR Echo era, and how I feel confident in saying that she is going to age very well throughout the next couple of months of content and fights. So I do feel like she is definitely worth pulling for. Me, myself, I will be going in with gems. I do have the tokens ready to token her BT weapon. So I'm pretty much like good to go. Like I am 1000% going to be pulling for her. If you want to know more details about her, check out my Should You Pull video that I uploaded yesterday. And that pretty much just covers everything that I feel like you guys need to know about her, including the gameplay showcase, the reworks, and then my opinions on her with some pros and cons about her as well. So next up, we're going to be talking about Jessie. Now, Jessie is our brand new character for the month of February. Now, Jessie, I do feel like she did get overlooked a little bit because FR Echo, when she got released in JP, FR Echo had released, and so things pretty much like changed completely, where I feel like she got a little bit overlooked. And so because of that, I feel like not a lot of players had a chance to really make her shine. Because like with Jessie, to sum it up, on the type of character that she is a pretty strong utility character, because she is able to, she has the ability to turn manipulate. So she is able to bring a teammate behind her, bring the party behind her. She is actually able to go behind a teammate, and she is also able to delay as well. So she is a pretty strong utility character. She has some party auras. They're not anything like too crazy to brag about, but it's kind of like there to add on to whatever other party auras that you do have. But I do feel like she is a strong utility character, and so because of that, because of how her FR conditions work, which I do think that her FR conditions, they're not hard to me. When you take a look at this Cydia Compendium, let me make the screen a little bit bigger for y'all. When it comes to the force conditions, the first one is a 20% increase whenever you are using a ranged attack, a 20% increase whenever a teammate's turn is manipulated or a party member delays an enemy once per turn, which Jessie can meet both of those two conditions in that one condition. And then a 40% increase whenever the previous turn was an ally's turn, which Jessie is able to help out with that, so that way you can pretty much go like back and forth in a way. But so like the conditions, that they are not too hard to me. The percentages may not be the type of percentages that you may not be a fan of, but like overall in general though, like it's not a bad FR to, at least the conditions to the FR are not too bad to me. So for me myself, because she is from Final Fantasy VII, I am going to pull for her again, and I want to hopefully be able to give her the opportunity to shine, since her banner her banner, her events, which whatever one of the two you want to go with, was actually moved up on the global timeline, because technically she was supposed to be like on the second half of anniversary, but they actually moved her up, which is fine. We're still getting the same characters that JP got whenever this month of characters was dropped in JP. So it makes no difference to me whether or not she got like if her event were to get pushed back or brought forward. So but yeah, I will be pulling for her kit. I will be throwing tickets at her banner, and hopefully I can get her entire kit with tickets. Next up is going to be Sice, who is going to be getting a very small rework and her FR weapon. The twins are also going to be getting a rework as well, but we're going to be mainly focusing on Sice. So the rework that she is going to be getting is a very small rework, but it's also a good change to one thing. So her LD ability, depending on which version you got active, does gain Brave Potency increase per hit, but it extends that Tenacious Vortex debuff to 15 turns. That means that follow-up attack that she has, that Dark Tornado that appears onto the enemies, it's still a 1 HP attack, but it now, because that debuff got extended to 15 turns, is going to last longer. So that's going to be more HP attacks that you can actually get out of that debuff. And it's also going to help out with her FR, because when you take a look at her FR conditions, you're going to notice that it's a 5% increase whenever a party member uses a dark attack, and it also includes off-turn triggers. So this can actually benefit not only Sice, but to also other characters who is able to deal off-turn damage, so long as you are able to party enchant them with dark. And really the only call ability, the only LD call ability that is able to enchant the party with dark is going to be Zande. So if you do have that LD call ability and you're planning to pull for Sice, then you're good to go. And then the other one is going to be whenever a party member's turn passes with a leveled buff or a special effect. So basically like a stackable buff, or if you have an overhead as well, that works as well to meet that condition. And then while you do have the FR active and you are dealing elemental weakness brave damage, the party receives a 50% HP damage up and a 50% HP damage cap up, which is great. It's a great effect to have while the force ability is active. So overall, it's a pretty good FR. The rework, yes, might be small, but that debuff extension does actually make a pretty good difference. With her upcoming Lost Chapter, she can actually once again solo her Lost Chapter, and with the small change that she got to that debuff, and now with her FR, or having the ability to have an FR, it is going to make things so much easier for Sice. And if you want to pair up with off-turners as well, so long as you have Dark Enchant, then you'll be good to go. So overall, it's a solid FR. Is it necessary to have? It just depends if you want some off-turn damage, and at the same time, you got to make sure that you have a way to be able to Dark Enchant the entire party, so you can take advantage of the off-turn damage as well. So for me myself, I am probably going to throw some tickets at her FR. I'm probably going to set an amount of tickets, because I don't want to go too deep into the banner and not get anything. So, and especially, and the reason why I say that is because there are going to be other banners that I am considering pulling for the month of February on global. So yeah, I'm gonna throw some tickets at her FR just to see if I can get it. If not, it's all good. Next up, we are going to be talking about Ashe. Ashe is going to be getting her FR and her BT alongside with a rework with the World of Illusion Spiritus Ramu. Now, technically, Ashe should have been the next BT character to be dropping to Global for Anniversary, but because we got Penelo's FR and BT as a Global first, pretty much everything got pushed back like a week or so, or got moved around, whatever it is. So Ashe, in my opinion, is a pretty good character. And again, I feel like she is another character that did get overlooked because of the fact that Echo Era dropped. But the other thing that really bugged players, from what I remember, when she got released in JP, was the fact that her off-turn damage that she gains from her BT effect only applies to her. So every time that she acts is when that off-turn damage activates, and her BT effect, I do believe, lasts for 6 turns, which we'll get into here in just a bit. But for those who have the Luna Freya call, I mean, that's not really going to be much of an issue, because you want to make sure that if you are planning to go into the BT phase with Ashe, that you have all of those 6 turns active so you can get that follow-up damage. But there is a little bit more to it. So if you take a look at the rework that she is going to be getting, her skill 1, 4 HP attacks with Brave Potency increase. Same thing with her skill 2. When it comes to her EX ability, Brave Potency increase, and then it also extends the Dynast King's bloodline to 9 turns, and the Arc Blast, which I do believe is the attack after her EX ability, deals 4 HP attacks. Now when it comes to the Dynast King's Bloodline, it adds a 20% HP damage up and adds over Thunder Enchant by 20%, and it combines with other elements. So you are getting true Thunder Enchant and Holy Enchant when it comes to this buff. And I do believe this is for herself, if I'm not mistaken, because I know that her LD is what enchants the party with Thunder and Holy. So pretty good change with that overall. Then when we take a look at her LD, at the start of the quest, it grants a max Brave up by 100% for 6 turns. Then with her LD ability, it gains Brave potency increase. It now recovers one's use of her skill 1 and her skill 2. When it comes to that HP attack Queen's Order, it now grants magic attack up, physical attack up, and max Brave up by 40% to the party for 6 turns. It has instant turn rates, and it does not increase the turn count. They also made it so that the Queen's Order, which I do believe is her overhead, if I'm not mistaken. Is it an over? Yes, no, it's a buff, excuse me. So what they did with that buff is that they added a 20% stolen max Brave overflow, 20% Brave and HP damage up, and it deals fixed HP damage now and HP attacks by 10% of the current HP damage cap. So a nice little add-on to have for those who do receive that Queen's Order buff. Then we take a look at her FR. Her FR conditions, they are very easy to meet. So it does actually grant the Queen's Order buff to the party for 1 turn. And then when it comes to her FR conditions, a 20% increase whenever you are dealing Thunder or Holy. So that's an easy 40% because of the fact that you have Ashe there granting or enchanting the party with both. And then a 20% increase whenever the party member has at least 4 buffs at the end of their turn. That is super easy to meet. Even if, let's say, like your character does not have 4 or more buffs. I mean, there's plenty of card abilities that can easily grant you buffs. I mean, hell, you can even use Hope's call ability, and you got yourself like 2 buffs right there to actually use. So there are definitely a good amount of call abilities to help you out with that in case you are short on buffs. Or if not, of course, Ashe is able to grant buffs as well. Now with her BT effect, like I said, her BT effect does last for 6 turns, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 6 turns. So what it does is it does trigger an additional attack for Ashe herself, and that's it, whenever she is attacking an enemy. The BT effect for the party provides a 50% Brave damage up, 50% Brave damage cap up, 20% HP damage cap up, a 30% stolen max Brave overflow up. The party converts 100% of excess HP heals to Brave. All enemies cannot grant buffs. All enemies cannot gain Brave. So not a bad BT effect whatsoever. And then the follow-up attack, which triggers after Ashe acts, deals 3 HP attacks, splits HP damage, 150% stolen max Brave overflow. It increases her Brave by 30% of the HP damage dealt, and it also heals the party's HP by 80% of the HP damage dealt up to 50% of max HP. So it's not a bad follow-up whatsoever, regardless of the fact that it only triggers for Ashe. It's not a bad follow-up whatsoever. It's not a bad BT effect at all. It's just the fact that, like I said, some players, I really didn't like the fact that the follow-up did not trigger after everybody's turn and only for Ashe, and that her BT effect was short. But like I said, if you have pulled for Jack Garland and you have already set up correctly so that way you are able to take on you are able to set up correctly to be able to make sure that you have all 6 turns of his BT effect, and you can easily do the same thing for Ashe. Ashe may not be like a character for some players who may not sound like all that, but like in my opinion though, like I said, because of the fact that I feel like she did get a little bit overlooked because FR Echo was around the corner, Ashe is not a bad character whatsoever. I do think she is a strong character, a strong enchanter. She does provide a good amount of things. That BT effect is pretty good. And overall, like I do think she's a good character. I don't really think she's bad at all. So for me myself, I am more than likely going to be pulling for her FR and her BT again. And I'm gonna do the same thing with Ashe, like what I'm gonna be doing with Jessie, and to use them as much as possible, just to show that, like, hey, like, even if they don't have like FR Echo, since FR Echo should be dropping towards the end of February into March, that I do feel like she is definitely worth using. Like a buddy of mine, Scorp, and I shared his video in a community post, but like he had actually used Ashe, and then with FR Echo backing him up, like Ashe was doing good damage overall. Like she was doing great, and he had used her in one of the recent Shinryus going up against Astro's Ultima form, which that thing has like a ton of HP. So yeah, overall good character in my opinion. I will be pulling for her kit once again. Next up is Strago, or Strago, depending on however it is that you pronounce it. So he is going to be getting a rework and his FR weapon. He, in my opinion, is a pretty good character as well. For him being a FR only unit, he's actually pretty good. So when we take a look at his rework, so his rework, four additional uses on his skill 1, and then it gains an additional HP attack. But remember, whenever you use a C65 or you have his Soul of the Masa buff active, it makes it so that his abilities trigger twice. So just think of that as 4 HP attacks instead of the 2. Same thing goes for his skill 2. 4 additional uses, 2 HP attacks, or really it's going to be 4 because you are going to have that Soul of the Masa buff active on Strago. And then with his LD ability, 2 HP attacks, remember it's going to be 4. Brave potency increase allows for 150% stolen max brave overflow. And then his Soul of the Masa buff adds a 50% brave damage up, 30% HP damage up, and then a 30% stolen brave damage up. Now, if we take a look at his FR is not too bad. So it does inflict break onto the group whenever he attacks, splits HP damage, it cancels the group's break status after each HP attack. So that's going to be 3 easy breaks right there. Then, with his FR condition, while his FR is active and whenever you are inflicting or attacking an enemy afflicted with break, the party receives a 50% HP damage up and 50% HP damage cap up. So yeah, everybody on the team is going to be dealing some good HP damage. Now when it comes to the conditions, a 20% increase whenever the party member selects a magic ability. So magic users are going to be your best friend for this FR. A 40% increase whenever a party member except for Strago breaks or attacks a broken target. And a 60% increase whenever Strago breaks or attacks a broken target. So for Strago himself, it's going to be an easy 80 to 85% increase. And then for your teammates, it's going to be a 60 to 65% increase. So not a bad FR in terms of percentages. Like if you want to get the most out of Strago, I would say give him the Luna Freya call, go into the summon phase, and then use his EX ability and just make sure that the Soul of the Masa buff is active, so that way you can just spam the heck out of his EX ability, because if I'm not mistaken, his EX ability deals 4 HP attacks, and then if you do have his Soul of the Masa, then it's going to trigger 4 more HP attacks. So you can only imagine the amount of damage that Strago can use. Now that I think about it, like him and Penelo are gonna be some best friends in a way. Huh. Now I'm actually considering pulling for him, because I was thinking about passing up on him, but I may just pull for him just because I want to see how that combination looks. We're gonna have to wait and see. Okay, so I just changed my mind, because I was actually considering, I was actually going to pass up on him, but I think I may actually pull for him just because I want to see how that parent actually works. So yeah, overall though, a good character for only having up to an FR. I do feel like whenever he gets his BT at some point in the future, I honestly feel like he's gonna be a very strong magical DPS unit. I definitely feel like they are probably going to make it so that his Solo Tamasa buff does not expire, and so you're gonna have that constant ability used triggering, or a constant abilities triggering twice. I definitely feel like that's something that they would probably consider doing for him. So yeah, he could potentially be pretty destructive later down the line. So yeah, I'm gonna throw some tickets at this F4. I'm now, my curiosity has gotten a hold of me, and I want to see how he works with Penelo. Next up is going to be Dark Knight Cecil. Now Cloud, I already have his kit and everything, so I'm just gonna be getting his rework and whatnot. Dark Knight Cecil, not a bad character whatsoever. Definitely a strong DPS character. Yeah, he consumes his HP and everything, but like overall in general though, yeah, he can definitely do some work for you. So if you take a look at his rework, so his skill 1 gains 3 more uses, and single target HP attack 6 times with Brave Potency increase. So great so far. With his skill 2, which is the ability that launches 4 HP attacks in total. Not bad at all either. Taking a look at his EX ability, deals a total of 5 HP attacks with 50% splash damage after each HP attack now. So yeah, as you can tell, they made sure that he definitely has the amount of HP attacks within his kit. His LD ability actually gains 1 use, 6 HP attacks in total, and extends the New Moon Mysteries, which I believe is a buff, debuff, excuse me, by 10 turns, which that debuff is a Brave Stab by 10% of Inflictor's max Brave, and HP damage resist down by 20%. So pretty much like additional HP damage that you can potentially do. His Power of Darkness, whenever the current HP is 100%, less than 100%, or less than 50%, it adds Brave damage up, and the same goes for HP damage up. And then whenever you are dealing weakness Brave damage, which you are going to be doing with DKC, it adds a 50% stolen Brave damage up. So yeah, DKC is going to be dealing some very, very good numbers. He is not going to have any issues whatsoever with him dealing all of the HP attack that he has within his kit. And they also made it so he deals fixed HP damage by 10% of his current HP damage cap. When it comes to his FR, so Vivi is his partner, splits HP damage for HP attacks. It does consume 30% of the individual's current HP to the party. With his FR, depending on the amount of HP that everybody in the party has, will determine the amount of HP damage and HP damage cap that everybody's going to be having. So as long as you are under 100% of your max HP, the party is going to receive a 20% HP damage up and HP damage cap up. Then when you take a look at his conditions, a 20% increase whenever a party member selects a dark ability. So Dark Knight Cecil, easy. When it comes to Dark Enchant, again, Dark Knight, not Dark Knight Cecil, Zande, with as an LD call ability will help you out with that one. A 30% increase whenever a party member has less than 100% of their HP at the end of the turn, and then a 30% increase whenever a party member has less than 50% of HP at the end of the turn. So as you can tell, I mean, like there's the potential of either having a 50 to 55% increase or a 80 to 85% increase can actually happen with this FR. So the FR is not hard to me, especially if you do have his BT, because his BT will make it much easier to have your HP value where it needs to be at to meet all of the conditions. So his BT effect does last for 8 turns, and it is in a way a stackable BT effect depending on where your HP value is at. So at below 100% all the way up to 51% of HP, you're going to notice that the party is going to be receiving a 40% Brave damage cap up, Brave damage up, a 20% HP damage up, and HP damage cap up. It does party HP heals by 40% of the HP damage dealt on the casted attack. The party doesn't animate to the HP poison damage. So to that pretty much means that because we are technically gonna be taking HP damage, it's not going to affect the mission, like the HP requirements for completing the fight. The HP poison by 40% of the holder's attack, and then all enemies will be receiving a HP poison by 1200% of the holder's attack, and this does not KO the enemy. This effect triggers after every turn is what it says here. If you go below 50%, you're going to notice that the percentages do increase even more. So brave damage cap up and brave damage up 60%, HP damage up and HP damage cap up 30%. And I do believe the healing to the party also increases as well. So it heals HP by 60% of the HP damage cell on the casted attack. So yeah, with that that follow-up that DKC is going to be having now, I mean, you are more than likely going to be below that amount of HP where you can get like the maximum effect out of his BT effect. So like overall, if you are not too worried about being that low on HP, then I would say Dark Knight Cecil is definitely a character to actually consider for. Regardless if he doesn't have FR Echo or not, he can definitely be backed up with the correct FR Echoes. I know that with the upcoming with some of the upcoming FR Echoes that we are getting now, it may not fully fulfill the conditions for DKC's FR. It just depends on like what's going on. Then it could potentially can. But I would say that because Garnet and Terra are going to be the first two characters to get FR Echo, Garnet may have an issue with that because of the fact that she deals thunder and water damage. For Terra, she's non-elemental, so she can actually benefit from being able to meet all the conditions so long as you know her HP is getting consumed and whatnot. So but yeah, there are going to be FR Echoes later down the line that does not have any elements attached to them that can easily help you out with increasing the HP damage bonus without you losing without you losing any turns on your force ability. So yeah, for me myself, I will be going for his kit once again. I really enjoyed using him. Very strong character, and it's a character that I would say that I would not overlook. But if you already have strong DPS, then I would say you can be just fine with Harlem if you feel comfortable enough with what you got going on at the moment. And then finally, we're going to look at Kuja, which in my opinion is probably the... Okay, I'm gonna be blunt. Like, yeah, he's an easy skip. Like I was actually pretty disappointed with everything he got when his kit first dropped in JP, and I shall explain. So his rework. So the rework that he's got, I don't even know if you would call this a rework or not. So his LD ability gains 1 use. It gains 150% Solar Max Brave Overflow, and it deals 4 HP damage. When it comes to the Terrace Crystal, which I do believe is his overhead, it adds a 30% Elemental Weakness Brave damage up and a 20% Party HP damage up, and that's it. Like literally, like he did not get any type of change in terms of like maybe additional HP attacks or anything like that with his LD or any of his other skills. So like that's pretty much it. When you take a look at his BT effect, because his BT effect gets a rework, and the one thing that they added is a 20% HP damage cap, and that's pretty much about it. Like, yeah, his BT effect focuses on increasing the brave damage for the entire party, brave damage cap up, so on and so forth. But I do kind of feel like they probably could have done a little bit more, maybe like 30% at the minimum. But in general, I like his skills overall. In general, I myself feel like they could have done a little bit more by granting some additional HP attacks, etc., etc. When it comes to his FR with Laguna as his partner, pretty much whenever an attacking character deals brave damage to multiple enemies, it increases the HP damage up by 10% and the HP damage cap up by 10%. Honestly, I felt like they could have increased that a little bit more, especially because like we have FRs that increase it much higher. So I kind of feel like they were holding out on Kuja for some reason, and I really don't understand why. When it comes to the conditions, whenever a 20% increase whenever a party member selects a holy ability, Kuja is able to party and chant everybody, so that's not an issue. 30% increase whenever a party member, except for Kuja, attacks multiple enemies, so just pretty much deal AoE damage and you'll be good to go. And then a 50% increase whenever Kuja attacks multiple enemies. So in total, when you look at it, the party can gain a 50 to 55% increase for them, and then for Kuja it'll be a 70 to 75% increase. So the FR is okay. I mean, it's not really an FR that I would personally recommend players pull for. Unless Kuja is a big favorite of yours, then I would say that's up to you. But for me, myself, I greened Kuja because I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I regret doing so because, yeah, it was definitely not really worth it. I was not really impressed with what he actually got. So in my opinion, I would say you can skip on this banner. I am going to be skipping on the banner. There's going to be a free multi. If I get into free multi, I will more than likely not build him and just go on about my happy way. So but other than that though, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I feel like I pretty much covered everything that I needed to cover when it comes to my pro plans and talking about as a character. Let me know down in the comment section below again what your plans are going to be for anniversary, who you're going to be pulling for, who you're going to be skipping for, so on and so forth. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.